Well, speaking of abilities, though, it was really, really exciting to see some new abilities showcased here at Gamescom. Shield was one of them.
This shield is cool.
Having new abilities.
So that shield was one of the coolest things I thought. That's pretty neat. You can use it as as cover essentially, slow the guys down.
Your philosophy when it comes to creating abilities and make them work in your world.
Sure, we have. I mean, so first of all, we have our different archetypes, right? And we try to maintain our consistency with the lore of who those people should be. So if you are a Mentat or a Trooper, it's kind of like your basic set of abilities is kind of aligned around what that archetype would be using. So Mentat, human computers, being able to see and calculate information really quickly in the world. But then, from a gameplay and fun perspective, we're trying to build a game that has combat that is about getting in close for melee combat and then pulling back quickly to go back to range. So you're always switching your tactics based on the enemies you're fighting. If they're wearing shields,
yeah, we've seen this footage already.
In there and attack them with melee. Ranged attacks just won't do the trick, right? So it's kind of really about this push and pull. And so our ability design is really about giving players options, whether that is about getting you to them as quickly as possible, that is things like the dash ability, getting you in really fast, or using a Shigawa claw on the environment to pull yourself closer to the enemy, but also giving you abilities like the voice compel, which allows you to pull the enemy and compel them with the voice to walk to you so that they can be struck down by your blade. So it's kind of about combining these things, and our ability design really takes this to heart. How do we get people in and out as
now, does that work on PvP?
So with the traversal abilities, I can really kind of pair that with items and tech, right?
Yeah, so I mean, of course we have the suspensor belts, which basically at their lowest level allow you to fall without taking damage, but at their highest level allow you to fly basically freely with obviously power drains over time, but suspensor belts really allow you full mobility in the air.
I'm essentially the Baron at that point.
Yeah, exactly, right? Exactly.
The Baron.
And that's the fantasy. And then you can combine
your fantasy is to be the Baron, so I need to stop you
I've been working on it for years.
Okay.
But no, so the ability to like use suspensor belts to fly around, right? And then combining it with a sugar wire claw, using the momentum of both of them to pull you through the world, twice as fast as you could normally move, or using the dash into a suspensor belt, which allows you to like really go quickly in the world. It's kind of crazy, and we might need to tone it down. But that sort of stuff is like, it's super interesting to see, and that's kind of what we mean by our combined arms. It's like playing around in the sandbox.
That's pretty cool.
The way that the combat, the abilities, all these kind of things come together to just make combat feel really dynamic and interesting.
There were a lot of interesting things, obviously, throughout the last few days.
I want the range
that were shown during, the opening ceremony, and
I'm curious what the range on Hunter Seekers are. How far can you send them? That'll be interesting to know.